阿弥陀佛 ，everyone， 大家好。Reverend Heng Sure has an important visitor to visit him today, so he couldn't give a lecture on transference chapter. 释法师今天因为有重要的客人来访问他，所以没有办法再讲思维相品。那我们就在听他从前讲的虚云老和尚的画传。So we'll watch his previous lecture on the Venerable Hsu Yun's Pictorial Biography. This will be the episode 35. Last time we watched 34, so this should go right after that. 今天我们看的这个是第35堂课，上次我们看的是34堂课。所以这个紧接着上回看的，那我们就开始。So we'll start now.
How things go. What we're going to do first of all is we're going to bow 3 times to the Buddha, and then we're going to ask Chen Yu, our tireless coordinator, to do the Dharma request. So let's get started. Not that one. We want, hold on here. There we go. Okay, let's see. Dharma request, requesting Dharma. Okay, you all ready? I'm going to put my palms together. We can make 3 half bows. Let's see here. Everybody can hear my voice. Okay, here we go. First bow, half bow. Second bow, and third bow. Okay, Chen Yu, if you'd like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
恭请大德僧听，为此法会集一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samyao samputoshe.
Alrighty，无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Alrighty, we appreciate the Dharma request. Thank you, Chen Yu, and I will be happy to do my job. We respectfully acknowledge the Kombu-Meri people of the Ugambi language region as traditional storytellers and custodians of the land where the monastery is located. We pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. And we say, 我们恭敬地承认Ugambi语族的Kombu-Meri人。他们是我们寺院所在地的所传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。Yes, and we got one more protocol here. The bell song. We'll do it without the bell today. The bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000劫内，佛法扬万亿国中，共训其法界和平，必以报他诺后德。Hey, alrighty, there we go. We have finished our protocols for lecturing, and I would like to, let's see here. There is a link in the chat box that will show you how to, actually it's not a link, it's an email address. And that'll help you get in line to request Dharma. If you only can do one language, we'll be happy to supply the other half. What you're seeing on my screen here on my desktop is Master Empty Cloud at age 118. You can imagine sitting that straight and looking that awesome at age 118. And we can
这个图片大家看到的，就是虚云老和尚他118岁的时候的照片，看他做的非常的正，非常的直。
compare how do we feel at not even half that age, right? This is
跟我们自己的不到这个一半的年纪来比较，看看怎么样。
Bhikshu for the ages. There's a reason why he is called the Zongmen, the Taidou, the North Star of our school. The North Star doesn't move. It's the center of the galaxy and everything circles around it. He definitely earned that name. And
一般人称虚云老和尚是宗门的泰斗，宗门指的禅宗这个门的泰斗，泰斗指的是北斗星，北斗星它是永远固定在那里不会动。The polar star, I think, is the center of the galaxy. It's just because it's right above the North Pole. So when the Earth spins, it doesn't move. I don't think it's the center of galaxy.
The stories that we're telling, this is a storytelling hour. Stories that we're telling about Master Empty Cloud give us a kind of a detailed account of how he developed that kind of strength. So at the moment,
这个故事本身就是这个虚云老和尚他怎么样能够有这么强健的身体。
There, Master Wenji the beggar saved our teacher's life.
这个文集我们上次看到的 而且这个乞丐啊，他救了虚云老和尚的一命，这是第二次。
Then made it possible for him to bow along without the burden of his baggage, because Wenji was carrying his bags for him.
文吉救了他命以后，还替他洗衣服啦，然后还替他背行李，这样子，虚云老和尚可以专心的朝山拜山。
So he could make faster time than usual. And in every way, the presence of this mysterious fellow who said he came from Wu Taishan himself.
因为这样子，所以虚云老和尚能够拜得比较快。这个神秘的人物，他说他是从五台山来的。
Made the bowing possible for Master Empty Cloud. They got to a place called Li Xiang, leaving appearances behind. Unfortunately, they didn't really leave appearances behind because the appearance of the beggar made the overseer, the abbot of a monastery called Li Xiang Si, unhappy.
这是之前看到的，就是他们到了一个寺庙叫离相寺，问题是那儿的方丈其实也是知客，并没有真的离相，因为他看到文吉是个在家人，是个乞丐，所以他不欢迎文吉在那边挂单。
And he kicked him out. He disrespected him. He said, "You're not welcome here. You're a layperson. You're a beggar, etc." So, of course, Manjushri Bodhisattva, who is the undercover beggar, doesn't need to be abused that way. And he says, "No worries, fine. She's right, mate," he says, and says, "Somebody will come along to take care of your baggage."
那这个知客呢，其实也是那里的住持，就是不准这个文吉在那边挂单，把他赶走。大家晓得这个文吉就是文殊师利菩萨的化身呢，他也不跟他争吵什么，就是走就走了。然后走之前，他和虚云老和尚讲说，不用担心，不久会有人来把你的行李送上山去。因为他离开以后，他这个行李就本来他是替虚云老和尚背行李的，离开了没有人替他背，所以他说他预先就知道说有人会替他送上山去。
I'm out of here, and he disappeared. Now, with that, this is the Zhike, the guest prefect, and at that point, the guest prefect scolded Master Empty Cloud and said, how could you hang around with this? How could you have a servant in a time when there's famine in the land?
这个就是知客，也就是那里的方丈，有一个出家人在那里，他还骂的那个虚云老和尚，骂他说这个饥荒的年代，你还有什么事者？那你如果要享受的话，为什么还要出来朝山？
He just scolded him up and down. And once the beggar, Wenji, disappeared, the guest prefect's tone changed. And suddenly he's very solicitous of Master Empty Cloud, serves him noodles, serves him tea, and is very kind to him. He says, "Oh, please stay."
但是很奇怪的就是这个，当这个文吉走了以后，这个知客突然他的态度完全改变了，他就对虚云老和尚非常的客气，还请他坐到里头去，煮的面要给他吃，送了茶等等。
Now, at this point, Master Empty Cloud being here's where we finished last time. Master Empty Cloud says this is a person of any value will not turn his back on a friend, especially someone who's been so essential to my pilgrimage, saving my life twice. So we can go quickly through this last week to catch up, and then we'll move on into this week's.
宣老上不会忘掉这个文集的恩情啊，所以他也很快的就离开这个寺庙。那我们把这个稍微复习一下，接下来就会看到新的
section. Here we go. Just to put us in context. Here we go. 文集走 no need to 合掌 I do it every time. No need to put your palms in. 文集走后，智科改容曰：请进宋丹炕上，斟茶十面，殷勤备至。公念文集，遂告辞。各旅店找寻文集，不见踪迹。时4月18夜，皓月在天如昼，公欲追文集。正月光向前，即拜生火患恼热。
这段文我们稍微解释一下。文集离开以后，这个智克师他就完全改变了他的容貌，改变了他的态度。他和熏和尚讲说，请进宋丹炕上，就是请他到那个炕上去斟茶，倒了茶给他，还有面，非常的殷勤。那熏和尚呢，他当然心心念念想到文集就告辞了，他也不多待了。他到附近的旅店去找文集，但是看不到人，看不到任何的踪迹。那一天是阴历的4月18日晚上呢，因为刚过了满月所以月亮很亮，好像白天一样的亮。宣好上要追赶文集就趁着这个月光呢，向前很快的急速的在拜，希望能够追上文集。那结果呢，就是里头的火就大了，患了所谓的恼热。这个恼这个字也不一定是这个恼，因为在上头这个字是看不清楚，所以反正就是内火升起来就对了。
Value will not 机走后，智科改容曰：生火患恼热。After Wenji departed, the guest prefect's manner changed inexplicably. Please come in, he said, and showed the master to a heated brick bed. He then prepared some tea and noodles. His attitude was completely different. He was polite and attentive, but the master was thinking only about Wenji and immediately took leave of the monastery. Going to all the inns in town, he searched for the beggar, but there was no trace of him anywhere. It being the 18th of the 4th month, the moon was bright. The evening was like daylight. The master took advantage of the moonlight to continue bowing briskly along in an attempt to overtake Wenji. This accelerated pace caused his inner heat to rise, and he developed a fever. Oh no. Here's the image, carrying his baggage. He's bowing along fast in the moonlight.
这个画就是画宣老上背着他的行李就急着往前追赶文集。这个月亮的月光。
Looking for his companion, his benefactor. So the verse that Shifu wrote goes, 前居后宫摩信天，随流久未 一元谦，一心追赶文集办，月下百香行彻间。
这是上人写的寄颂，是前句后恭。这个句的意思就是像很高傲的意思，因为这个指的是这个知客一开始的时候态度非常不好，但等文集走到下，他确实非常恭敬，所以前后变化很大，在磨这个虚云老和尚的性。虽留酒味一元泉，虽然这个知客要留虚云老和尚那边久住，但是因为没有什么缘了，所以虚云老和尚也不住了。只要一心追赶文集伴，虚云老和尚是一心只想追到他的伴侣文集。月下拜香，在月光下拜三步一拜警车间，是非常的，这个是非常的紧张，所以就是产生的，他就发烧了。
元谦，一心追赶文集伴，月下百香行彻间。Watching arrogance turn to respect, polished his nature. Although invited to stay, the affinities were not there. He wished only to catch his companion, Wenji. Thus, bowing along on that moonlit night, he felt agitation. All right. I can just imagine our storytelling mentor, Brian, how he would portray the change of face of the guest prefect from nasty to unctuous, right? That would be quite a character challenge. Great fun to have him suddenly be so friendly and respectful when before he was just a scold. How do you explain it? Why?
这个知客的态度有这么大的转变，如果说要讲这个故事的人的话，是不容易，这样子去做的。那现在问题就是说，为什么这个知客态度会这么大的转变？
Why the change of face like that? And my thought on it is, this is the reality of historically the appearance of Manjushri. Manjushri around Wu Taishan, historically, that is to say, from the Han Dynasty for 2,000 years, has appeared when the conditions are right.
释法师他的看法是，文殊，释利菩萨，他在这个五台山附近，从汉朝开始就常常现身在这里。
And if the conditions aren't right, you cannot make him appear. He
跟他有缘的话，他才会现身；你没有缘的话，你看不到他。
picks the time, he picks the opportunity. We've told the story of the other three steps, the first 3 steps on Bao monks, Heng Sure and Heng Yu.
文殊菩萨他是会选对象，选时间来现身。之前讲过，我们金山寺这个第一次三步一拜，恒具法师跟恒有法师的故事。
Who Heng Sure instigated, what do you say, provoked Manjushri to appear and get scolded and taught by him at a mom and pop grocery store up in rural Washington state. Heng Yu, the Dharma protector, didn't even see him.
因为恒具对恒有法师的态度，这个结果就是文殊菩萨就现身了，才要 华盛顿州那么一个小的等于加油站的地方。那这个文殊师利菩萨现身以后，把那个恒具法师骂了一顿。但是恒油呢，恒油法师根本不晓得这件事情，他没有在场，所以也没有看到这个文殊师利菩萨。
He was out on the road with the cart, so only Heng Sure got to see Manjushri, but then it was to be told that he's not really a Buddhist yet.
所以那个恒油法师那时候是在他的车那附近，所以他就没有看到这么一幕。这个文殊菩萨就对这个恒具法师说：“你根本就不是一个佛教徒。”那骂了一顿。
He doesn't really believe in compassion, doesn't practice compassion. So
因为他不够慈悲。
Manjushri picks the time and place, and this guest prefect at the monastery did not have the affinities.
文殊菩萨他会选时间、选地点。这个知客显然和文殊菩萨没有缘了。
He took the opportunity to scold Manjushri, bad idea, and lost the chance to meet the greatly wise Bodhisattva.
这个知客不但和文殊菩萨没有缘，还骂了文殊菩萨一顿，骂这个文姬啊，所以他也没有机会和这个文殊菩萨再见面了。
So that's interesting, fascinating story. Is that why this change, that maybe the guest prefect was just an ordinary person who saw no benefit? Maybe he thought that the beggar couldn't make an offering, possibly, for whatever reason. He
或者这个知客看不起这个文姬，因为他是个乞丐啊。乞丐的话呢，不可能能够有什么供养的，所以就把他赶走，是不是这样子？
He sucked up to Master Empty Cloud, who was having none of it. As soon as he saw the insincerity of the guest prefect, he too, I'm out of here.
虚云和尚看到这个知客呢，一点诚心都没有，所以他也不留了，就马上要离开。
Thanks for your offer of noodles and tea. Goodbye. No, thank you. And now, the sad part is Master Empty Cloud saw this train wreck happen and couldn't prevent it, but now is his chance to run after Manjushri to see if he can't possibly catch up to him and express his deep, intense gratitude for all of the life-saving medicine and food and support and encouragement and actual sweat.
可悲的是，虚云和尚他没有办法阻止这件事情发生，所以他眼睁睁的看到这个文姬啊，这个文殊菩萨被骂走了，所以他非常的对不起这个文殊菩萨，所以他赶紧在后头想要赶上他去感谢他他的救命之恩，还有施药，煮东西给他吃，还替他洗衣服，甚至还替他背行李的恩德。
Labor carrying the bags, and nope, no bodhisattva to be found. Poof, he's gone just the way poof he appeared. Right? That's this is the magic of Master Heng Sure菩萨。
虚云和尚根本找不到文姬啊。文殊师利菩萨他不见了，和他突然出现是一样的，很神奇的，所以。
Master Wenji. All right, that catches us up. What next? Let's see what happens. The next encounter. The year is 1884. It's the 10th year of the Guangxu reign period of the Qing dynasty. He is a 45-year-old monk.
这个是我们对今天看到的新的段落，是在宣老上45岁的时候，1884年。
The heading goes 拒绝与欢迎者 first rejected and then welcomed. We ready? Here we go. 必流血不止20日，至黄土滩，白云色。知客见公口流水，不流，强一许。21日，进太原城，至极乐寺，饱受责骂，不挂单。22，出城礼拜，遇青年僧文贤，特别欢迎，结成恭敬，住10日，行。
这段是拒绝和欢迎，就是不同，有人拒绝虚老上，但是有人欢迎他。那这段文就讲以流血不止，因为前面讲到虚老上因为急着要追文集啊，所以他就火了，那火就太大了，结果他就流鼻血，流得不停。这个是阴历的20日，他在拜的是，那前面是讲到18日的时候在月光下头拜，20日2天以后呢，到这个地方叫做黄土滩呢，一个寺庙叫白云寺。那这个知客师呢，看到虚云老和尚流血不止了，所以不让他在那边挂单，勉强在那边住了一晚上。第二天呢，21日，虚云老和尚又进了太原，这个是山西的，一个是山西的省会太原。那边有一个寺庙叫极乐寺，结果他到极乐寺还是被骂了一顿，被责骂了，饱受责骂，也不准他挂单。所以他第二天呢就出城了，离开太原，是朝拜。但是他遇到一个年轻的出家人叫文贤的，那这个文贤法师呢特别欢迎虚云老和尚，对虚云老和尚有虔诚的恭敬，对他非常非常的恭敬这个虚云老和尚就在他的寺庙里头挂单了10天以后再离开。
The master had by now developed an incessant nosebleed. He reached Baiyun White Cloud Monastery in Huangtutan on the 20th. When the guest prefect saw the master's bloody mouth, he did not allow him to stay there. He limited him to staying 1 night only. On the 21st, the master entered the city of Taiyuan, extremely level, is that our best? Maybe, yeah. He went first to Jile Ultimate Bliss Monastery, where he received considerable verbal abuse and did not stay there. On the 22nd, he left the city, continued bowing. He then encountered a young Sangha member named Wen Xian, erudite worthy, who warmly received the master with sincerity and deference. The master stayed 10 days and then resumed his bowing. All right. So we learned from previously that his, call it 内热, 生火患恼热, his inner heat, that is to say, Master Empty Cloud was not only bowing faster, which generates, it's a physical process. So your breathing, your pulse is accelerated, your breath breathing rate is accelerated, and his mentality, his mood was accelerated because he was distraught. He's going to lose his Dharma companion. His true Shanzhishi is now can't be found. So he's agitated. what happens? It increases. Now, he'd nearly died, mind you. Before the encounter with the previous guest prefect, he had been at the point of death.
前面讲的这个宣老上，因为急着要追赶文集啊，所以他在晚上就很拜得很快，很急，所以他当然身体血液流得快，呼吸也快，那也引起他里面的火气就大了，所以就造成了流鼻血。大家还记得之前因为痢疾的关系，几乎都要断他一命，好不容易这个文集才救了他一命，所以他身体本身就是还是很虚弱的状态。在这种情形下，他又这么急着拜，所以就发烧，然后流鼻血，流个不停。
So his inner resources are depleted, just the way COVID eats away at your qi, freezing to death with dysentery. Incessant diarrhea also drains you of any energy. So only because of Wenji's miraculous cure is he able to bow at all. So now, fragile.
这个因为他的严重的痢疾，把他的体力能量都消耗了很多，几乎都要丧失性命。幸亏是文集他有特别的特效药能够把他救回来。那这个痢疾对身体的作用，就是像其实释法师不久前才得的新冠病毒，所以整个精神身体完全都没有什么体力。他想到这个宣老和尚也是类似这个情形。
As he is frail, he's got this now this fever to find his Dharma friend. Can't find him. What happens? Nosebleed. Anybody who's ever been afflicted with that problem, you know it's a game stopper, because the fire internally just pops a blood vessel in your nose and the blood coming down. So 20 days, he gets to a place called Huangtutan, a place called White Cloud Monastery. And the guest prefect there, I don't know, can you blame him? He sees this monk show up with a bloody blood covering his face. And he says, I'm sorry, you can't stay here. You're sick.
这是阴历22日的时候，宣老和尚派到白云寺，这个知客是看到他这个满脸都是口都流血，所以他不留他。你如果是知客的时候，你会留宣老和尚吗？你看到有一个人满口都是流血。
Sick. You might have who knows what disease. You're not welcome here. You can stay one night. 强一序, right? I'll let you stay one night, but you cannot guadan. You can't register here. Guadan is
这个因为知客也不晓得宣老和尚什么疾病啊，所以他也不敢留宣老和尚在寺庙里头，勉强就准他在寺庙里头过了一夜。
Custom where you show up, you show your precept ordination certificate, your ID as a monk, and they register you because the Sangha that way knows who is traveling where. Are you a real monk, first of all? Are you a pretender who might be like a political dissident? Maybe you're a thief or a criminal who is pretending to be a monk. Maybe you're a member of the royal family who is trying to escape responsibilities, like the emperor who preferred to be a monk. So that's how they keep track of who is who, and they let you 挂单, you can stay there for free.
是否是在讲这个挂单这个传统？出家人要到不同的寺庙去，有戒牒的话，一般就是比丘戒牒，要把戒牒拿出来，人家确定的这个戒牒是真的时候，一般都会让你在那边住，就是因为他们要确定你是不是真正的比丘啊，你是不是一些土匪呢，或者你欠人家的债来避，或者你是政府通缉的犯人，甚至也许是你是什么官员啊，或者是皇室的人，那你要逃避你的责任，那你跑到寺庙来躲。所以这是一般很确定你没有问题的时候，就会让你在寺庙里头整个挂单在那边住下来。
And if you're a bigwig, if you're an important monk, they're going to give you a job. You're a good advertisement for the monastery. So none of this worked. On the 21st, he entered the city of Taiyuan at a place called Jile Si, Ultimate Happiness Monastery. And what happened? Another round of scolding. He gets rejected and scolded. Never mind that this is the famous 虚云老和尚, Master Empty Cloud. He gets scolded and rejected, sent away. Oh.
那边这个白云寺住了一个晚上，第二天他就到了太原去，太原的极乐寺。到极乐寺去一样被骂了一顿，不准他挂单。虚云老和尚就说他们不认得这个是。他们不认得这个虚云老和尚。我想这时候虚云老和尚才45岁，把知道的人并不多。I think the Venerable Hsu Yun was only like 45 years old. Probably many people didn't know him at the time. He was not as famous as later on. That's why I think the prefect of this monastery didn't know him.
Man, no affinities, 没有缘分. And on the 22nd, 出城礼拜, he leaves the city of Taiyuan and goes out to Bao. Now, what could be worse? He's got no Dharma friend. He has no affinities in Taiyuan. He's rejected everywhere he goes. He's just barely able to bow. He's got a nosebleed that won't stop. And he's being scolded. All right, tough.
所以他身体也不好，流鼻血，然后到处都不让他挂单，这个还被骂了，所以这个情形是很辛苦。
Conditions. From the Buddhist point of view, what do you say about this? You say, 业障现前, his karmic obstacles, that he's, even though, 8th stage bodhisattva, still has karma, clearly.
从佛教的观点来看的话，就是他的业障现前。虽然虚云老和尚生下来就是八地菩萨，但是他还是有他的业在。
And he's paying back some debts from the past because he is not welcome here. And then, strange as everybody carries, Master Hua said that in order to fully understand our karma, you have to be a Buddha. 10th stage bodhisattvas still have difficulty sorting out all of the qian yin hou guo, the past causes, the later results.
上人说过，你要真正的完全了解一个人的业呢，要到成佛以后才有办法 完全了解，即使是十地菩萨都还没有办法完全了解个人的前因后果。
Of one individual. Shifu said our karma is like a bowl of stew. Here is a carrot. Here is a piece of celery. Here is a piece of tofu. Here's a tomato. It's all mixed up together.
上面有一个譬喻，我们这个业障就像一碗羹一样，这个羹里头这边有一块豆腐，这边有胡萝卜，这边有个青菜，这边有个什么东西，就混在一起，非常不容易搞清楚。
Because hot on the heels of being rejected by the zhike of Jilo Si and scolded and thrown out, he meets a shan zhishi, a zhiyinzhe, someone who knows his sound, that is to say, a bosom friend. Qingnian Seng Wenxian, a young monk whose name is Wenxian, who takes one look at Master Empty Cloud and goes, oh, a sage, here is a saint, 特别欢迎, jie cheng gong jing, with ultimate respect, welcomes him in and says, please stay with me for 10.
他受的这个白眼呢，还被骂了以后，第二天出城的时候，他竟然碰到这个年轻的出家人文贤。那这个文贤法师呢，也是对虚老上特别欢迎。他认得这个虚老上不是凡夫是个圣贤，所以对他非常诚心的非常恭敬他。留宿虚老上在他的寺庙里头住了10天以后才离开。
特别欢迎，竭诚恭敬 with ultimate respect, welcomes him in and says, please stay with me for 10 days. Please stay as long as you like. Warmly receives the master with sincerity and deference. So head spinning, right? On one hand, scolded and rejected. On the other hand, welcomed with respect and treated like the vigorous cultivator that he is.
所以这个改变很大，有的人骂他，不欢迎他，结果接下来有人就对他十分的恭敬，所以这个差别是非常非常大。
So here is Wenxian Fa Shi, the young monk, welcoming the pilgrim, Empty Cloud, the city of
这个图里头，这个应该是那个年轻的出家人文献的虚老上。
of Taiyuan. How do you make sense of that? All you can say is karma is a bowl of stew.
怎么解释这样子？我讲的就是说，我们的业就像一碗羹一样。
It's hard to know what's what.
不容易了解。
The Chinese goes, 一番寒冷，一番春，方受白颜欲垂青，去留欢迎恭亲历，试问动心不动心。
就是上人写的寄颂，一番寒冷，一番春。寒冷指的是那些知客对他态度非常的冷漠，还骂了他一顿，像冬天一样。他碰到这个文贤法师呢，文贤法师却对他非常的尊重，敬重他，像春天一样。方受白眼，刚刚受的这个白眼，这些知客的白眼呢，看不起他，赶他走。那遇到垂青，是文贤法师对他特别特别的尊重。去留欢迎恭亲礼，是在那些寺庙都不准他逗留，不让他挂单。 但是文贤法师却是十分欢迎他，所以这是虚云老和尚他亲自经历的，他被拒绝挂单，也被欢迎。那接下来这是上人写的，试问动心不动心，就是问说，那到底这个虚云老和尚碰到这种情形的时候，他心有没有动？人家欢迎他的不让他挂单的时候，他不是会不高兴？欢迎他的话，他是不是高兴？这个问题就是摆在那边，让我们自己去参去。
具留欢迎，恭亲历，试问动心不动心。Passing through the freezing cold, he then encountered spring. After glares and ridicule, he met kindness and favor. The master himself experienced both rejection and warm welcome. I ask you now, did his mind move or did it not? So look how Shifu deals with this circumstance. He poses it as a koan, a kind of a gong'an, and takes us right into the mind of Master Empty Cloud. How
上人把这个机创写得像一个公案一样，然后让我们去看到这个新的问题，是看到底虚老和尚碰到这种境界，那心有没有动？
did the monk react to rejection and welcome? And he then Shifu turns it on us. Shi Wen, I want to ask you, he says, what do you think? Dong Xin, move mind, Wu Dong Xin, not move mind. Was Master Empty Cloud pleased at being welcomed and upset by being rejected? So I'll leave the question for all of you to answer on your own. Yeah. Now,
是法师也把这个问题丢给我们，让我们自己去参，到底虚老和尚有没有受到这个外境的影响而动的心？
take a look here. Oops, what am I looking for? Here it is. Not that. There we go. We've been checking in with the Nianpu, the original biography that from which Shifu took the stories, selected the stories for the 200 episodes of the picture biography.
我们也经常看那个虚老和尚的年谱，是虚老和尚自己写的，跟他的自传一样。那这个上人写的这200首、200段的这个虚老和尚的画传，主要是根据这个年谱来揭露出来的。
Okay, and it's very interesting because, as we know, sometimes there can be years will pass and there's no story. It's just, there's the up above, you've seen, it's like, let me give you an example. So here is Master Empty Cloud's writing about his biography is very sparse, very terse. A few
虚老和尚他的年谱经常是非常简略、非常简洁。
words cover, years. Now, when we get to, there we go, for example, right, so here it is, age 42, one story, 高明寺。
比如说像这里，这个是宣导上42岁的时候，这个整年就是这么一小段，讲到他这一年的发生的事情。
When we get to the pilgrimage, these stories of the pilgrimage, we get more detail and actual dialogue. When Wenji shows up,
但是当他开始在朝山的时候，尤其碰到文集出现以后，他的这个记录就非常的详细，他和文集的对话都记录下来。
we get back and forth. We get the beggar Wenji's words. And it's like Master Empty Cloud wanted to record these experiences because they were so precious.
像这个虚老和尚刻意要把这个记录下来，因为这毕竟是非常稀有的对话。
So look at how long. I mean, great detail here. So recovering after freezing in the snow, recovering after dysentery, and Wenji washes his clothes. And so here we get to this encounter.
所以这边就是脸谱讲的很详细啊，他因为因为天气太冷的关系，他有病了，然后文吉就出现来救了他，然后接下来他又得了痢疾，也是奄奄一息，也是文吉出现来又救了他一命，这个等等都非常的详细的记在那边。
And I wanted to share with you some of the profound, the abundant details here. So, Wenji says to him what? He says, okay, it's not far from here to Wutaishan. I'm going to go ahead. You come at your own pace. Somebody will come to help you with your baggage before.
这个是在这个文吉在离乡寺那边被赶走的时候的一段对话。这个文就是指的文吉，在宣导这样讲说，这里离五台山不远，那我先回去。那他说他是五台山来的嘛，他对宣导长说，那你慢慢来，不用急着。你的行李呢，不久有人会替你送到山上去。
Along, sending it to Wutaishan, says Wenji, and then poof, he disappears, gone. Now, 我护留不得, I tried to get him to stay and not go, and I couldn't. Chu Yin, Chou Yin, I offered to pay the zhike, and he wouldn't take it.
这个宣导上就苦苦的要留文吉，但是文吉就离开了，他不留。宣导上另外拿着钱呢，要来等于酬谢文吉，但是文吉也不接受。This I think is the Venerable Hsu Yun wants to give money, silver to the beggar. And Wenji didn't accept it.
So Master Empty Cloud wants Manjushri, now it's not spoken. Does he know this is Manjushri, or is it Wenji the beggar in disguise?虚雲老和尚doesn't say, but you kind of wonder, could he not know? I mean, miraculously. Anyway, that's not the problem. In this case, he knows that this is his true Shanzhishi, his good and wise friend, spiritual friend. And he says, please stay with me. Manjushri knows that he doesn't have the affinities there. Master Empty Cloud will be fine. So he leaves. Okay, after this, the Zhike, the guest prefect, Gaiyan Yue changes his appearance suddenly, changes his entire attitude. He qi song dan. He is now very polite, and he shows Master Empty Cloud to a guest room. Dao tu fang re kang shang cha. He installs him on a warm bed or a warm couch, a heated couch, and serves him tea. Qin zuo mian, makes a pot of noodles with his own hands. Pei Chi eats them with me. Qi qi ju dong. Strange that he now suddenly is the most courteous of hosts.
这个是前面讲过的，就是这个文吉离开以后，这个知客他的脸色完全改变，变成非常的客气，送虚老和尚到丹上去，在这个热的炕上坐，倒了茶，要请虚老和尚喝。这个知客还特别亲自去做面，请虚老和尚吃，不但还陪着虚老和尚吃面，就是他的举动非常非常的奇怪，突然间的改变太大。
右顾左右无人。So I asked him, how come he's all alone here? How come he's got no companions? So I asked him, are there lots of Sangha members who come by here?
虚老和尚看到这个寺庙里头都没有其他人在，就问这个知客说，那这里有多少常住众，多少出家人在这边常住？
He says, the guest prefect says, 我在外江多年. I was elsewhere beyond the river for many years, 回来住持, and I came back to be the abbot here. I think this is VM Hsu, right? White Cloud Temple. 连年虽荒. There were many years of famine here. It was a poor neighborhood out here in Shanxi province. 清流的我一个. So finally, I was the only one left. I was the only one who survived. 两亿之子. This is all of my provisions. 是一举动是有戏而. So he said, that's why 是才举动是有戏而心无见怪. Something like that's why I put on that show. Please don't blame me. 情无见怪. Please don't blame me for.
这个是那个知客回答，就是说，他说他在外头住了很多年，后来才回来这个寺庙当住持，但是回来以后呢，连续好几年都荒灾，最后呢，大家这个常住众都跑光了，只留下他一个人。那粮食呢也只有这么多。刚刚我那样子举动那样子态度呢，是游戏人间，有点像类似像开玩笑那样子。那请你不要见怪。
Or sending away Manjushri because there's not much to share, something like that.
也许是因为他这个食物有限，所以他就不理文集啊。I think this is the Li Xiang monastery.
Was 10 parts sad, says Master Empty Cloud. This really made me sad. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mixed tears and laughter, right? So from this you would think he understands who Manjushri was, maybe. 面吃面半碗. I forced it to eat half a bowl of noodles and then said goodbye.
训导上听的这个智客这么讲，他就非常难过，啼笑皆非，也不晓得是该笑还是要哭，勉强吃了半碗面就告辞了。
Clearly he knows that this guest prefect missed his chance. Okay, so that's part of the story. 必留亦无心答应也。必留住亦无心答应也。He wanted me to stay, but I couldn't. I just had no heart to do that. 隧道街上旅店找文殊夫子。So I went everywhere looking for Master Empty Cloud, for the beggar Wenji, and couldn't find him. 14月18. It was the 18th of the 4th lunar month. The moon was really bright. I went chasing after Wenji. 星夜向太原不向外迁. So I went into stars night 向太原复拜向前进. I headed towards Taiyuan. 心机起火. My mind was really agitated and the fire rose. 42脑热, and I had fiery mind, fiery brain. 流血比流血不止.
这个智客虽然留训导上在那边住，但是训导上没有心在那边住，他要赶快去找文吉啊，到处去旅店去找都找不到。那时候是4月18日，所以天晚上啊，月亮很亮，所以他也要追文吉呢，在夜晚里头向太原那边拜香前进，因为他急着要追赶文吉，所以他这个火气就大，产生的结果就是流鼻血流不停。
My nose began to bleed without cease. 20th day, got to Huangtu Tan Baiyuan Si. There we go. Oh, that was called Li Xiang Si, right? The former place. 此是树上道场. It was a special kind of monastery. 智客监狱口流鲜血不准挂单. The guest prefect there saw my nose bleed and frightened him, wouldn't let me stay, wouldn't let me register. 勉强过一次, stay one night only. 21日早进太原城. I got into Taiyuan, 至极乐寺, got to Jila Monastery, Ultimate Bliss Monastery. 报寿. Okay, here's where Shifu picked up the story. I got nothing but scolding and abuse, and they wouldn't let me register. 22早出城礼拜. I left the city bowing. 北门外遇一青年僧, and I met a young monk at the north gate of the city, whose name was Wen Xian.
这段在那个画传里头都讲了，就是到了黄土，这个全南世界黄土滩的白云寺，智客见到训导上口流鲜血了，也不准他挂单，勉强过了一夜，第二天一大早呢就进太原城，到了极乐寺去，是饱受责骂，也不准挂单。第二天早上就出城了，在北门外呢遇到这个年轻的法师，就是文献。
见我近前招呼. When he saw me, immediately he called to me. 接过拜登行礼. He wanted to take my baggage. 请进寺内, welcomed me into his temple. 爱敬如亲. He treated me as if we were related, as if we were family. 领导方丈. Took me into the abbot's quarters. 陪茶饭. Fed me with tea and food. 探视以及我问 inquire.
看到这个年轻的文献法师，这文献法师一看到他就看到训导上就很快的马上他接近跟他打招呼， 把虚云老上的拜凳呢，给行李都接过去，请他到他们的寺庙里头去，对他的恭敬呢，还有还好像是亲人一样的，他带他到的方丈室去，陪着虚云老上喝茶吃饭。
As to my circumstances, 大和尚是干语岁又系外甥人，何以在此住持? He said, let's see, the Venerable Sir 是20余岁. You seem to be 20 years old, right? That's what he's saying. 又系外甥人, and you seem you're a foreigner. 何以在此住持? How come 何以在此住持? Can you be the abbot? Yeah, please be the abbot here.
I think this is what the Venerable Hsu Yun this young monk Wenxian. The 大和尚 is called this Wenxian as 大和尚 because he was the abbot. So you look like in your 20s, and you are from other places, area, other province. How come you become the abbot here? 这是虚云老上问了这个文贤法师，说大和尚啊，你看起来好像只有20来岁，而且是外省人，是外地人呢，那怎么会在这边住持？
So, okay, now, clearly there's detail here that Shifu didn't include in the brief biography, but I wanted to share a story here, this being a storytelling opportunity.
所以你可以看到这个年谱里头有不少东西，上人没有揭露到那个画传上头。所以这边想要和大家分享一个故事。
To tell about the city of Taiyuan and another monastery. There is a monastery in Taiyuan called Chongshan Si, the monastery of amazing goodness, ultimate goodness. Chongshan.
释法师要和我们分享，在太原市里头有一个寺庙，叫做崇善寺。
善寺 right here. Okay. Chongshan Si. This is a famous historic monastery in the city of Taiyuan. Here's the story. It's in Shanxi, Taiyuan.
这个崇善寺是一个古庙，常在山西的太原。
It's, let's see here, 现为山西省佛教会所在地，全重点文物保护。It's where the Buddhist Association of China is for Shanxi province, and it is a protected monastery nationally. So it's a famous monastery. And the reason I wanted to tell a story is when you go to, if you take a pilgrimage to Wutaishan, to Five Peaks Monastery, Taiyuan is the closest big city.
我所以要讲这个寺庙的故事，是因为这个寺庙其实在太原，太原是要到五台山去附近最大的一个城市。
And this is where people go on their pilgrimage route. If this is kind of the jump-off place into Wutaishan.
所以你去朝五台山的话，都会经过太原。
And sure enough, when we, back in 1989, when our delegation of monks and lay people went to Chaobai, Wutaishan, we passed through Chongshan Si.
这个故事是1989年的时候， 华种的出家人，还有一些居士去朝五台山，这个就是那时候发生的故事。
Now, at the time, Chongshan Shi was just barely, I don't think it was actually opened after the Cultural Revolution. It was still it had not been officially open, but we
那时候崇善寺好像还没有正式的开放，应该是受了文革影响，那时候似乎还没有正式的开放。
We had Master Mingyang's energy behind us, his permission, so they opened it for us, and we were given an opportunity to look at something that I will never forget.
那是因为阴阳法师的关系，所以我们就能够进到这个崇善寺去。那这边有个故事，我是这一辈子都不会忘掉的。
As long as I live, which is 3 particular Buddha images.
这里头有3尊大的佛菩萨的像。
There we go. This is the 1000 bowl Manjushri, Qianbo Wenshu. And this is the same one.
那是千波文书。
A little closer. It's a Manjushri Bodhisattva, not a 1000-hand Guanyin, as you would assume.
不是千手观音，千波文书。
Every one of the hands has a bowl, an alms bowl. Qianbo Wenshu. There is also and this image is about 18 feet tall. To see it, you turn your head way back to look.
这个菩萨像有18英尺那么高，所以你在看的时候，你必须要把头抬得非常高，才能够看到头部。
Because they're vast images, 3 of them side by side. The other 2, one is a Pushen Pusa, which is
这3尊菩萨是并列着，另外一尊是普贤菩萨。
also incredibly marvelous. This is the Pushen Pusa image. They are Ming Dynasty images and just incredible.
那是普贤菩萨，这3尊都是明朝时代的菩萨像，是非常非常庄严。
And then there is 1000-hand Guanyin, 有千手观世音菩萨, which you can see just amazing, right? So there is a Qianbo Wenshu, a Pushen Pusa, and a Qianshou Guanyin Pusa. 3 incredible images. Now, though by themselves, they were astonishing, but the abbot of the monastery greeted us and said, I want you all to know this monastery is very, very special.
除了这3尊菩萨像以外，还有其他很特殊的事情。这个寺庙的方丈会跟他们讲有什么神奇的故事发生。
He said, when the Cultural Revolution came along, he said, we had a lot of 那个古董那个宝贝 we had a lot of antique, wonderful, precious heirloom Dharma treasures from the past. He said, we have this lapis lazuli paper, Avatamsaka Sutra, blue paper with gold ink. That was a gift of the emperor to Taiyuan Chongshan Si, which used to be vast. Our
在文革的时候，因为这个崇善寺它本身有很多古董文物法宝，所以这个他们就担心这个文革的时候会被破坏掉。比如说他们有那个华严经是 印在这个琉璃的纸上。
Monastery used to cover blocks, miles of real estate.
这个寺庙本来是非常非常大，有几英里那么大的地方。
Now it's small. It was used as a factory during the Cultural Revolution.
现在已经小了很多，因为很多地方就变成是在文革的时候就改成工厂。
He said, what the abbot, my predecessor did, he had fa qi, bells and drum and wooden fish and all from the Ming Dynasty. What he did was he brought them out and put them on the altar and said, this is all just old trash. It's just our everyday Dharma instruments. Please don't let us keep chanting here. And
那这个前任的方丈呢很有智慧，就把这些明朝的法器啦，这个引磬啊，等等这些法器，拿出来摆在这个这个地方，就说是这个是我们日常用的法器，不值钱的这个东西。
In fact, these were precious heirlooms, but they went back into service every day as the wooden fish of the monastery. They were Ming Dynasty antiques and precious.
实际上，这个是明朝的宝物，像木鱼啦、引磬啊这些东西，结果他们就摆在那边，每天在敲敲打打。
And he said, oh yeah, this old scripture, we just recite this every day. He was opening up lapis lazuli paper and golden ink as their recitation.
他有这个琉璃纸，上头是金色的字，就是每天都是打开那个来做课诵本一样。
And so the Red Guards came in and ignored the garbage on the altar, and they were looking for the treasures, right?
红卫兵就被骗了，他们以为这些东西真的是不值钱的，当然要找那个宝物啊，所以就这些东西就这样子被保留下来。
He said, yes. He said, I want you to look up at the ceiling, he said. If you notice, he said, up here on the ceiling, there's a spot that it looks like it's been kind of rebuilt. It's different from the rest of the ceiling. The pattern is different.
方丈还另外跟他们讲说，你们抬头看看那个天花板，这中间这里是不是和其他地方不一样？因为那里的天花板看起来就是完全跟其他地方不配合，不合，不是不配。
He said, you know why? He said, I want you to look down on the floor underneath that spot. You'll notice on the floor, there is, it's been patched. Obviously something disrupted the original flooring and it was rebuilt.
那你们看看这个地板，就是刚好在这个天花板这个地方正下方，你看到这个地板也是和其他地方不一样，看来就是被补过的。
He said, this is directly in front of the three images that I showed you. This is directly in front of the Guanyin and the Wenshu and the Pushan, these vast images.
这个天花板还有这个地板这些东西，是正好在这三尊菩萨的像的前面。
He said, you know why the ceiling looks funny the way it does and why the floor looks funny the way it does? He said, during the war against the Japanese, he said, Taiyuan was one of the cities that the Japanese bombed.
那为什么这个天花板和这个地板会这样子？这个是在抗日战争的时候，太原是日本军的空军轰炸的一个地点。
And of course, we were just holding our breath, hoping that the monastery would not be bombed. And you never knew where the bombers were going to fly and what was going to survive and what was going to be destroyed.
我们只能够这个方丈讲了，他们只能够在那边祈祷，希望这个寺庙不会被轰炸。
And so he said there was this day when the bombers were closer and closer and closer, and we were all just praying. We were on our knees saying, Namo Guanshi Yin Pusa, Namo Guanshi Yin Pusa, Namo Jiuku Jiunan, Datsi Dabe Guanshi Yin Pusa, please protect our monastery.
那有一天呢，他们听到这个轰炸机声音越来越近，越来越近，他们大家都跪在地上，求观音菩萨来保佑、保护这个寺庙。
And we heard the bomber come right over the top, and then we heard this huge crash, and through the roof came a 500-pound bomb that landed on the floor and bounced. Bunk, 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 bunk.
他们听到这个轰炸机就从头上过去，然后有个大炸弹，500磅的大炸弹就丢下来，从天花板这样子穿进来，打到地板上，在那边弹了好几次。
And reciting Guanyin's name, we got the monks together. We picked up the bomb and carried it out to the curb and set it down. And he said it didn't explode.
我们正在诚心的念观音菩萨，然后大家合力把这个炸弹搬到外头去。庆幸的就是这个炸弹呢没有爆炸。
Right in front of Guanyin Pusa with 1,000 hands. He said, so we patched the roof and we patched the floor and we kept reciting Namo Guanshi Yin Pusa. He said that's why this temple is considered very special.
事后呢，他们就把这个屋顶补起来了，地板也补了，所以就会有这样的情形发生。所以这个寺庙本身是很特殊的这么一个神奇的故事。
Among those who know the story. So if you go to the Berkeley Monastery, I took pictures of all 3 of the images and took them to Berkeley, and they're in frames along the eastern facing wall of those 3 images.
是法师就是三尊菩萨像，他照着像。然后放大在伯克莱圣寺挂起来。
So pretty magic, and it will make you believe in the power of Guanyin Bodhisattva. But the 1,000, this is the the Pushin Pusa image, which
故事应该让你能够信服这个观音菩萨的威神力。现在看到这个是普贤菩萨。
is quite spectacular. You can see the power of these images, and then the 1,000-hand, 1,000-bowl Manjushri, unbelievably wonderful. So this is the story of Taiyuan, and Master Empty Cloud found very mixed affinities. First received, first rejected, then received. So what can you say about that other than karma for all of us is deep and old? The Buddha himself had 3 karmic debts to repay, even as the Buddha.
回到这个故事来，虚云老和尚受到的待遇，就是对他非常的冷酷，也有对他非常好的，所以我们这个业本身是很难解释。其实像佛陀成佛以后，他都还有业要还的。
So how much the more so, Master Empty Cloud? As the story goes, they say, 虚云老和尚十难 48期, Master Empty Cloud's 10 difficulties and 48 miracles. 坐月五地四超，不觉苍生几度，受尽九魔十难，了知世事无常。
那么时间也差不多了，这是对虚云老和尚的一个他这一辈子的一个简单的，就是虚云老和尚他受的十难，就是有48个奇迹出现。他经过5个皇帝，有4个朝代，不觉沧桑几度，就是沧海变成桑田，桑田变成沧海，世间变化很多，受尽九魔十难。知道世事无常。我想我们就在这边停下来的，接下来也快就是做个回向，他是在我成的应该就可以停下来。那我们在线上的，我们就来释法师是用这个药师灌顶真言来做回向。
The living presence of Master Empty Cloud is a very real presence in our lives. So I'm going to invite everybody to join me in transferring merit and send it out. Think of a place that can use the goodness of your energy, sending out the blessings, and let's use Medicine Buddha's mantra to send it out. Here we go.
想给日本人那个
Om Namo Bhagavate Sajjaya Aidurya Pravarajaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Sajjaya 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 Gate Swaha Bhagavate Sajjaya Vaidurya Pravarajaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya Sajjaya 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 Sangate Swaha. One more time. Bhagavate Vaidurya Pravarajaya Arahate Samyak Sambuddhaya. All right, here we go. Sajjaya Sajjaya
影片在这边断掉了，我们就是对着大家和上人来做个三问讯。Let's make a 3 head pause to Guan Bodhisattva and Venom Master. In respect to the Venerable Master, thank you for your attending this lecture. Hopefully next Sunday, Reverend Heng Sure will be able to lecture on the 10 transferences. We don't know yet. 希望下礼拜天是否是可以再回来讲这个十回向品。阿弥陀佛。